Here we are, and today we got an old friend joining me, Keith Merker, WeedMD, couple of locations, Elmer and
Correct.
Strathroy, and we've had some fun together. We've had a great sushi dinner, and we also got on the wrong train together, which was amazing because I was telling you about this lady that got on the train with me to London, and she was going to Ottawa, and then we proceeded to get on a train going to Ottawa. And if I wouldn't have heard all the people talking French. Anyway, it's great to see you, Keith.
It's truly a treat, Ed. I wasn't expecting to see you today, so
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was a train rookie at the time. I think it was my second time on the train, which is a wonderful experience living in London, Ontario.
Yeah. Now, do you train quite a bit now?
I do.
It's a great way to travel.
It is.
You know what? No, you can work.
Get a ton of work done.
Yeah,
Got Wi-Fi.
No stress.
Get fed.
Yeah.
No stress.
Yeah.
It can take you an hour to get from Queen Street to the Gardner. So
you know what? Yeah, and if you're
driving.
And I just got a rail pass,
yep,
which gives me 20 one-way trips in a 30-day period, and it's very reasonable. Like it's $35 a shot.
I feel like this is becoming a Via Rail commercial.
Okay, let's move on
yeah.
here. So WeedMD, when I met you, the company was private. You guys had this vision. We were eating sushi, drinking copious amounts of sake, having a laugh, and wow. I think you had 10 employees, 12 employees, and now
yep,
you have...
And we just embarked on, I think at that point in time, a $30 million valuation raise.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting at $250 million with 120 employees. At that time, we had about 10.
120. And how much cash do you have now? How much cash?
We've got over $40 million in the bank.
Nice.
So well-funded. We've got a mortgageable property at the Strathroy location, so we have access to further non-dilutive capital there.
Okay.
So to your point, two facilities up and running.
Yeah.
Elmer going great guns.
Now you just completed your first harvest.
We did.
Now tell me about that.
So this is, to be specific, our first harvest at the expansion site. So our second site in Strathroy,
yeah,
which I'm going to argue here on live television, that we turned it around probably quicker than anyone has done so in this industry,
yeah,
to the scale and capacity that we have currently, yeah, online and will have online by end of
year. You guys strike me as operators. You guys strike me as, you know.
We're not fooling around.
Yeah,
we're not fooling
where the
around.
rubber meets the road.
That's right. So again, this facility in Strathroy,
yeah,
14 acres of greenhouse, 98-acre property. Yeah. The folks at Perfect Pick Farms, who we've taken over the farm from, were growing tomatoes in the space that now houses cannabis back in December.
Yeah, yeah.
So we flipped it. We started working in January in earnest. We got licensed in June, and our first harvest came down 2 weeks ago. And there's further harvests coming down, I think, this week.
Just for the, how many harvests can you do in a year?
So right now we have 44,000 square feet licensed, or 1 acre of licensed space at this site. We've got 4 grow rooms in operation now.
Right.
One's a mom room. 3 of them are now flowering rooms.
Right.
2 of them are 10,000 square feet. The third that's flowering currently is 5,000 square feet. We brought down the 10,000 square feet flower room 1. The second one's coming on shortly. We have 6 rooms that are now awaiting regulatory approvals.
Okay.
It's another 60,000 square feet that'll be online hopefully within the next month. Health Canada, with Health Canada's blessing.
Sure.
And then beyond that, there's another 400,000 square feet that we're working on in earnest to have online by end of year.
And what's the, like, how many employees do you have in Strathroy?
So again, the total is about 120 now.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep track because there's new people coming on every day.
Right.
And that will likely double by end of year as we get towards this more fulsome operation in Strathroy.
Yeah.
Currently, there's I would guess there's somewhere between 20 and 30 employees there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So expanding dramatically.
Yeah.
Lots of cash in the bank.
Yeah.
You got some assets that are unencumbered.
That's right.
And so you're sitting, and you're a financial guy, right?
Yeah. Originally, I am.
Yeah. And so now you got a bunch of supply agreements. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we've announced supply agreements with British Columbia, Alberta, Nova Scotia, and most recently, of course, Ontario. The funny thing about Ontario is that we weren't on the first list of licensed producers that they presented to.
Yeah.
To
so
the
there's
market.
a protocol. There's
a process, and we just wanted to make sure that we cut the right deal with the OCS for WeedMD. And so it took a little bit longer to get there, but I think that in doing so, we did the right thing for the company and our shareholders over the long term. So yeah, we missed that first announcement and all the hoopla that went with that, but
hey,
all good.
You know, you were valued at whatever you were when we met,
Yeah.
probably close to 2 years ago, and now you got a $250 million
That's right.
operation.
Yeah, and before we carry on from, sorry to cut you off, Ed, but the other supply agreement that might be as critical or more critical than any of the others is, of course, Shoppers Drug Mart.
Wow.
So in the medical stream,
Yes.
we're one of 6 licensed producers that has this agreement with Shoppers.
Yeah.
And you know,
just so are you recreational, medical? You're both, and
we're both. We're a big producer. We'll have one of the biggest production platforms online and operating by end of year, and all of that product is not just going to solely, satisfy, we'll have more product than is required to satisfy our current medical needs. Let's just remind
everyone, the viewers, that the ticker here is WMD.
Correct.
WeedMD.
You got it.
Yeah, okay. So you're scaling for growth. Everything's seems to be going the right way. What was the high on the stock? Was it about 320? Did it get to 320?
Yep. That was last January.
And then it pulled back dramatically with everything else and got back to what, about $1.40, $1.50?
I think that's fair to say. The
now
low might have been a little bit lower than that.
I think I saw it 230, 235. Is that where we're at?
That's the neighborhood we're in today.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of people are focused on what's going on with Tilray, and that's a crazy story.
It is, but I'm going to just tell you now that WeedMD is the best story that a lot of folks out there haven't yet heard about. The best kept secret on Bay Street.
And then you just told me back in the green room that you're now. Can I say that you're going to open an office here in Toronto?
Yeah, we are. We have a bigger Toronto contingent and a growing one.
Yeah.
And
sure.
So
you want to be close to the sort of Bay Street and the financial community.
In a perfect world, yes.
Yeah.
So we're currently seeking real estate. We'll house some finance here, some marketing, some sales, and some other functions. But yeah, I mean, it's critical to be here, have the presence here, lots of talent to pick from, and lots of great people that we've brought on board.
Wow.
Yeah, that's been one of the key focuses over the summer for WeedMD has been to build out the management team. We've got a number of hires that will be announced shortly that are
So what is how big is the management team, like in terms of the key management team? Are you're looking at 20 people now or something like that?
No, not quite that. We've always ran pretty lean
at the
top. I mean, to your earlier
shareholders money, right?
We're operators, and we've kept the SG&A quite low, and we've done things, I think right and responsible from a financial standpoint. So we haven't got any bloated management team.
Okay.
We are working on building that out now because it's critical as we go forward and start to build on this great production platform and bolt on all the critical pieces that will build a global cannabis business to that point. I mean, just recently we announced the first sale of genetics to Australia from WeedMD.
Yeah. So talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So what do you're sharing your technology? How does that?
Well, so there's a couple of points to make there. Number one is that WeedMD is pretty unique in the space in that we have a thriving genetics business where we sell seeds and clones and live plants to other licensed producers in the Canadian market. And that's been something, it's an opportunity for any licensed producer, really, if you've got the genetics. But WeedMD decided to view that as a real big opportunity for our company because we have a very broad genetics library at WeedMD. So in doing so, we've created a nice business. We've made a lot of great relationships.
Have you created that genetics library yourself?
That came through. Originally it was an MMAR, the earlier program in Canada, genetics bank, that came along with one of the founders of WeedMD.
Okay.
So what we've done there that's really neat is we've taken that genetics business and now we've made it international. So this is something that wasn't easy to accomplish. I can tell you, that getting the import-export and all the paperwork and bureaucracy that goes behind this thing to export, some seeds, is quite an experience. But now that we've done it, we've opened the door to further international deals, and we've got a bunch in the hopper, and very excited about that expansion of that critical part of our business. Beyond that, we've got some other great international deals in the works, I'll say. So again, I would say stay tuned for more information. On that front.
Now, Michael Kraft is your chairman.
He is.
And Michael and I go back.
I do.
And we've had a lot of fun together. And you know, he's a very bright guy, and he's certainly well-read, and I'd say very high IQ. And, you know, I remember him telling me about his vision, and, you know, he's been dead on. I mean, the industry, I think I told you, I had no idea 2 years ago that it was going to be what it is today. But, hey, to your credit, good for you.
Yeah, well, not just myself, obviously. I mean, Mike is one of the founders of the company, and he's been a critical component to our success today.
I'm sure he's made some great introductions.
Oh, yeah, no, beyond that, he's a great deal maker. He's a great mentor in a lot of ways, and yeah, critical piece of how we got here today.
We're gonna leave it there, Keith. And listen, you know what? So glad to see you again, and we got to go out. I will say this, I haven't had a drink in 13 days.
Good for you.
So I'm on the wagon, a bit on the wagon.
Okay.
So, but I'd love to have a beer with you sometime when that time comes.
And hopefully going the right direction on the train.
Hey, look, Keith.
Good seeing you, Ed.
Really nice to see you.
Thank
you know, you got a great smile, and you're a very sincere guy.
Thank you.
Anyway, folks, WeedMD, WMD.
You got it.
It's a winner.